Newmar diesel pusher coming in here at Haylett RV of Coldwater, Michigan. I haven't looked up the hard specs on it. Roughly 35, 36 feet, something in that nature. Front diesel generator, actually currently running. Runs very nicely and quietly, which is kind of cool. And I know that it's been run frequently and maintained because the hour meter on it, let you listen to it purr there for a second, is showing 2,206 hours. So this is an RV that went out, it was used, and what's good about that is it was actively maintained because the folks were actively in it. And that's one of those things I think is always a good idea. You actually want a motorhome to be used a little more than a little less, because things like the engine and the drivetrain and all that, well, this doesn't have a drivetrain obviously being a pusher, but you get the idea. If you don't run those fluids through the engine every now and then, you're gonna have a problem. So this has what I think is good miles and good hours on it, and obviously well kept. Washer and dryer, stackable, installed, living room super slide, bedroom slide out. Tires look good. She looks good. Anytime we get a motorhome in, especially, I mean, I try to do it on anything, but especially a motorhome, I like to show them in travel mode. Now this chair could be slid over a little bit. There's a little magazine rack right there that could easily be moved. It's not bolted to the floor or anything for a little more travel access, but short of that, I mean, it's very easy, very comfortable to get here through all the kitchen, the refrigerator, the walk-through bathroom and everything. And one of the nicer parts about this one is that you do maintain bed use in transit. That being said, this is certainly not the original mattress. That does make it set up a little higher, but you're also going to get a lot better night's sleep out of that puppy dog right there. Quick little note also, this does have integrated slide locks just for extra security's sake. Up is locked. Kinked down like we're looking at is actually unlocked. I always like to unlock those as soon as I walk into an RV, just as a matter of habit, because it takes one moment of forgetting to really screw up your night. Having walked through the coach a few times now, I'm really not seeing anything that concerns me. Everything looks like it's been, obviously used, but well kept, not wore out. Folks had a good time in this RV, but they didn't beat it up. They respected it, they appreciated it. You'll even see some things like the entertainment center in both the bedroom and the living area here, how those were updated to more modern high-def systems. I can see where the folks put some money back into this. They didn't just take and take and take. They also gave back to their investment, and that's what you have to do. So one of the things that's kind of cool about this is that individual, big residential size recliner right here. One, because it's residential size, so if you want to swap it out, you can. And it has this big, dresser over here with it. Now, previous owner was kind enough to show me, he goes, down here in this drawer, I've got just a whole gaggle of, extra little pieces and parts and just little maintenance things, like when I could get a 2-for-1 special, I'd pick something up so that I could always keep things kind of in good working order. Lots of windows and cross breeze windows for lots of light and airflow in here. And you're going to see that it's not just hardwood cabinet doors, but hardwood cabinetry, period. End of sentence right there. We've got, like I said, lots of great visibility in this thing. I like the lighter colors in here. I think that's something that motorhomes historically have done a little bit better job on than towable RVs. Now, the seat can naturally slide back. I left the seat slid forward because I needed to for slide-out purposes, but, the chair could easily be swiveled around. While we're up here in the cockpit area, a couple things I do want to point out. Looks like we do have a classic CB situation going on here, but more specifically is the leveling system, the hydraulic leveling on here. I want to make sure people are aware that that is present. We do have an air braking system as well. And it looks like the electronics were kind of updated and upgraded and sort of changed around over the years. So where you'd normally see just like a little dash-mounted stereo, it was replaced with, this would be like your camera monitor system. So that was one of those upgrades that went through here. It's kind of a multi-function sort of entertainment and monitoring system all in one. Diesel generator controls right down there where they're easy to access, but they're also kind of out of the way visibly. And speaking of that, next to your entertainment center, up here, kind of up in the corner, out of the way, where visitors, grandkids, etc. aren't inclined to push buttons on stuff, is all of your mechanical controls, your monitor panels and all that, and your slide out and water pump controls and water heater right here. The slides on these are a one-touch automatic slide system, so you push it, and the pre-recorded robot voice tells you, okay, get the furniture, get your hands out of the way, we're going to be opening or closing the slides now. And what's cool is you have one button here for the main living room slide, then you have one button in the bedroom for the bedroom slide, and I like it when they do that. Some people dislike it because you do have to walk across the coach. I prefer it, however, because you must be physically present to push the button on that slide out so that I can personally line of sight the slide to make sure it's going to open or close unobstructed and unimpeded. Now, over here, I want to point out you've got day-night shades on all the windows. I do have them open currently, and they must not have been opened a lot because those things were still very nice and taut. They did not want me to mess with them a whole heck of a lot. Not like to the point that I felt like there was something wrong, but they were obviously hadn't been used very much, which is very reassuring. A lot of people on big coaches like this will leave the blinds closed very often, just for heat's sake. It not just for privacy, but it keeps the heat out of the RV. Now, I've got the tabletop kind of cracked right here to help remind myself, which it thankfully did. The table does extend, and there are a pair of fold-away guest chairs, all wrapped up in like towels and whatnot, hidden in the rear closet compartment area of the bedroom. Now, the kitchen in this, I love it whenever they use like the mirrored sort of backsplash around that recessed, almost hideaway flush mount stovetop, because it makes everything look really big in here. And speaking of really big, you know, at a glance you're like, yeah, okay, I see a couple drawers and whatnot. It's when you open this thing up that you realize how much kitchen is really in the kitchen. Now, one of the first things you'll notice is there's some stuff in some of the cabinets. That's because these folks are just done. One of the questions I always ask anybody whenever they list an RV here at Haylett RV on consignment like this is, why is it here? And the fellow looked at me with tired eyes and said unapologetically, because I'm 75 years old. That's why it's here. I said, fair enough. So this was their camping stuff that they don't need anymore. You take the coach home, you don't like the stuff, throw it away. It doesn't bother anybody. It's your stuff at that point. Convection microwave oven. Above the kitchenette, we have the bigger, like, Max Aire Fantastic style vent fan, and that does have a rain sensor. So on a rainy day like today, that might save you from a lot of trouble, and it looks like it's done a good job over the years, because the soft touch ceiling liner that we're looking at up here that knocks down a lot of the noise in transit, if those things have ever been exposed to water, they will stain brown and you will never get it out of there. And you're going to find that this thing has not had that kind of problem. 10 cubic foot gas electric fridge freezer with that big slide open pantry drawer system next to it. I love that anytime you get in there. And I noticed in this little extra, it could be decorations cabinet, it could be additional glass or cup space like you see here. Evidently, somebody liked themselves a little Saturday night margaritas. So good for them. They had a good time. That's the whole point of camping. Have a good time. Be safe. Be responsible, obviously. So the handy little hutch nook over here, additional little like coffee maker space or prep space. I actually got a phone hookup over there for back when people would full time it and have a local phone service as opposed to cell phones. And then you see as we come down here, in addition to that cabinet space, this whole thing is just drawers and drawers and drawers galores right here. And additionally, handy little ice maker on the bottom kind of finishes off the remainder of the kitchen cabinetry. So you're always going to have those cold drinks and those, the ice for the margaritas. Nicer solid surface countertops throughout the RV. We'll kind of polish off the kitchen area and finish this thing off. And this is sharp. What I like about this is it has a really well-defined kitchen area, whereas a lot of coaches really don't. I also really like how bright it is in here. The lighting in this is excellent. So it's not like they're running old bulbs. These folks were very on top of things when they needed, they were proactive. I guess they were not reactive, but proactive in their care, maintenance, and upkeep, and that means a lot to me. Walking through the middle bath area here, one of the things I didn't talk about in the kitchen, I should have, is that this is a real tile floor, which is kind of nice. So it's not just like a linoleum print. It's got a lot more heavy-duty feel and touch quality to it. Now, just like the kitchen, you've got a solid surface counter here, and what's neat is this is a one-piece sink counter combo, so there's no seams where water can slip in there, but I do like how they made it big enough where you actually have room to, like, set stuff down on each side of the sink, which is why I put that Kleenex box there to give you a reference point to see how much space is around that thing right there. The dual split vanity gives you plenty, like if what you're looking to do is full-time or say seasonal, go to Florida, whatever, you're going to have plenty of room in here. The showers and the sinks, these are areas I've learned to look over the years. People who let these things stay dirty when they bring RVs into us, they tend to be people that don't properly maintain and use their RVs. None of that is the case here. Nothing could be further from the truth, which is nice. This is very clean, very well maintained. Now, once again, for seasonals, for full-timers, you are going to enjoy what's behind door number 1 and door number 2. What is it, Gene? It is a stackable set of washer and dryer for the RV, so you can keep yourself out of the public laundry service where you don't need to worry about Larry Lunchbucket and Jane Six-Pack's crazy fuzzy bugs. You know, I know that some folks have a concern about that, and it is very nice just to have that here. Whether you're going to be touring and traveling or just full-time parking, it is nice to have those there for that sort of purpose. There are a lot of people who are like, I ain't using a public laundry service. Well, now you don't need to. Not just in the kitchen, but anywhere that you see a ceiling fan, they're going to be the nicer Max Air vent fans with the rain sensor. And once again, more of that hardwood cabinetry, all loaded up with all sorts of like bathroom utility stuff here, and a little bit of a higher rise toilet, and that's very common in motorized RVs in my experience. So as I mentioned, when we first stepped inside and the slides were still closed, the mattress has been replaced with something residential grade, which is very nice. That does, however, mean it sits a little bit higher. Now, a tall person like me, this height is absolutely not an issue. It's about the same height as my sleep number at home. However, if you're my wife's size and you prefer a little bit of a boost, that's where the little step up on the rear side of the bed is going to kind of be your friend. Now, you see the overhead cabinetry above the bed. As deep as the bed slide is, that is how deep the storage above the bed will be. So there's a lot of long-term stuff up there. Very good for infrequently used things like maybe beach towels or an extra blanket or two or something like that for a guest. So the rear closet back here, pretty common for something this age. The original plastic clips have unfortunately given up the ghost. That's an easy thing to replace, but the problem is a cheap replacement plastic clip is about inclined to do the same thing. So the owners came up with a simple solution. They have these nice little wooden dowel rods cut to size to keep these rear sliding doors open or closed however you want as required. And tucked back in here again, those are the that's one of the 2 chairs that I mentioned for the guest arrangement. And you can see you've got this full like rear closet area with the other chair hidden on the side. And this is a handy little aluminum step right there for folks who need a little extra boost to be able to get to the like the overhead cabinets and whatnot. Easy, handy little boost there. Once again, they have updated their entertainment center here in the bedroom, but really, it's all the storage in this bedroom that kind of finishes telling the story, because not only do you have a lot of storage in that rear closet, you see it goes overhead all the way down the forward side of the bedroom, and then you've just got nothing but dresser space down below here, and including this nice big almost like dresser shelf across from the bed where that cross breeze window is located. So if you do need to kind of do a little bit of work camping, that could very easily kind of quick function as something of a little desk space for you for a little laptop or tablet. Kind of handy. You got shielded awnings all over the place on this. You got your main patio awning, you got the direct awning right over your main entry door, as well as little window awnings here and there. And again, all shielded, protected from the weather. High gloss skin, looking fantastic. One of the things I look for on anything like this is I always, especially on this like a seamless nose like this, is there any sort of like collision damage or stress fracturing or anything like that? And I can't find anything of the nature. Protective slide awnings doing a heck of a job up there, reducing maintenance and also reducing heat on the RV when exposed to direct sunlight. Give you a quick look at the tires here as we go through. Once again, haven't seen anything that concerns me. We've got big old Michelins all over the place on here, 22.5ers, and the yeah, no sign of like harsh weathering or anything like that on these guys. This is all pass-through storage. We're going to look at it from the other side as we go through. This is a separate little side bay over here. Actually, that does pass through as well. Previous owners didn't look like they used this side of the RV for storage very much because everything here was locked. Everything on the other side was unlocked. Looking at that, it's about a 10-gallon gas-electric water heater, roughly. All of our mechanical stuff, just to give you an idea where she's going to be located, like sewer things and whatnot. Sorry about that. Apparently, I bumped the power button as I was walking through here. It's still kind of half drizzly. It was raining when we were inside the RV, and I'm trying to do a little bit of shielding on the camera just to help catch that extra little drizzle, and I must have put my hand in the wrong spot on her. I do like it when they have these detachable ladders, just so that it leaves this more open for anything that you're going to put or tow behind the coach. Now, being a pusher like this, you're obviously going to have a far greater tow capacity than something like a gas motorhome, which generally speaking, those top out at 5 to 7,500 pounds. Although you've got some serious battery power going on here, and looking at the physical condition of those batteries, it looks like those had been somewhat recently replaced. So it's not like we're riding on the batteries from 2008 or anything like that. Interesting little pocket of storage right here. So this little pegboard right here, actually very handy for you know, being able to hang up hoses and things like that. It's a very good vertical storage space. It's hard to use vertical space well. This is going to be the bulk of our outside storage. However, you see that we've got the single individual cargo pass-through bay here. Then obviously we've got the easy slide-out belly storage tray in this vicinity here. You're also going to find, like, this is part of the reason our wheels look good, is wheel covers. And you're going to find a couple extra little accessories laying around here and there, because once again, the folks are just done with it. You know, they don't really have any use for her currently. They just reached the point where they said, you know what, we did our adventuring, we're good, and we think it's time for her to go to the next home. So lovingly cared for. Kind of, she's the nice old mare from the farm, and she's looking for a new pasture, basically, as my grandfather would say. So give us a call. We do hitching, pieces, parts, trades, financing, you know, a vehicle for package deals, tow bars, dollies, and everything in between. Take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.